Greetings metalheads and welcome to No Nonsense Metal Reviews. I'm George and today I'm reviewing the brand new studio album from American deathcore newcomers, heaviest of heavyweights, Lorna Shore, with this wonderful piece of work. This is Pain Remains. Now, I'll start off by saying, to be honest, I am quite out of the loop with very extreme, very brutal metal music, shall we say. When I was a little bit younger, I did listen to a whole lot more technical, brutal, progressive, slam, death metal, a lot of that stuff. But over the last few years, primarily I've been listening to more power metal, more thrash metal, delving into things like black metal, classic speed metal, heavy metal, things like that. So at the less kind of brutal and extreme end of the metal spectrum. However, every now and then I do like to dip my toes back into the brutal scene, and Lorna Shore is one of those names. I remember listening to them years ago when maybe they just had one or two EPs rather than a succession of studio albums. But what really piqued my interest with this one was the feedback and the words in the press that this album was getting. It was getting a lot of very good reviews, a lot of recommendations, a lot of buzz about this album from quite early on. And a buddy of mine who is still very much into the brutal scene, he was giving this album a whole lot of praise. He couldn't say enough good things about this album and about this band and how they have been through a few things that have come out in the press, been a few potential controversies and all that business going on, but they have come back from that. They have reformed, gotten together, they got a new vocalist in Will Ramos at the helm, and this guy is an absolute beast. He sounds like a demonic monster. It's some of the most brutal vocal work I have ever heard, hands down. So, with all that praise, I decided to give it a go, and I have to say, Pain Remains is a freaking phenomenal piece of work. I said deathcore, they're a deathcore band, but to be honest, this is more of a symphonic deathcore album with flares of even black metal in there. There's elements, definitely elements of black metal. There's elements of great sort of progressive parts, a lot of technicality, a lot of intricacy, but it is very brutal stuff indeed. We'll take a little rundown through some of the tracks here. This is quite a long album, over an hour long, but it does not fail to keep you gripped. The opening track, Welcome Back, O Sleeping Dreamer. A long song, I think is around 7 minutes long, but it is a whirlwind. We get so much brutality there. We do get some crushing breakdowns, but we get a whole lot of technical, amazing riff work. I mean, the musicianship here is first rate. These guys are maestros. It's just a heavy song. It's, like I say, it's very progressive, it's very technical, but when those crushing breakdowns come in, it's city leveling stuff. It is out of this world heavy. It's easily some of the heaviest stuff I think I've ever heard in my life. Into the Earth, that is definitely a much more technical, much more intricate track. Very freaking heavy as well. Another great moment. Sun Eater as well. The album flows so seamlessly that sometimes a few tracks could pass and you almost don't quite realise. But there's these huge, the whole way throughout the whole album, there's these huge symphonic passages, sweeping orchestral parts, choir elements in the background, so much stuff going on. It's so layered and so textured. It goes so deep. It's incredible stuff. This is a work of art. This is more like an operatic show, a whole symphony. This is a performance rather than just an album. Cursed to Die, that's a heavy frickin' number as well. Some killer breakdown work there. Amazing leads, phenomenal stuff. Soulless Existence, another one of those longer tracks, but that is freaking heavy. It's so good. My favourite moments, if I was going to pick out a couple, would include the 6th and 7th track there. We've got Apotheosis and Wrath. Those two tracks in particular really stand out for me. They are phenomenally heavy. They are amazingly well executed. The vocal work from Will the whole way through this album is bestial. It is absolutely ungodly. He even does execute some different takes on vocal styles and ranges throughout the album. It's not just constant guttural growls. There's a lot of different sort of high squeals. There's mid-range things, and on the 3-part closing tracks there with Pain Remains 1, Dancing Like Flames, Pain Remains 2, After All I've Done, I'll Disappear, and the closing moment, Pain Remains 3, In a Sea of Fire, we do get a real variation in the vocal performance. Lots of different styles, lots of different elements there, and it's so well done. Certainly the symphonic and these orchestral passages really do ramp up into a whole symphony. A lot of the very typically deathcore elements are put to the side, or certainly suppressed a little bit on those closing 3-part collective pieces, but we get a whole lot of brutality there, just very different. But we get that symphonic edge is really quite mesmerising stuff. So much sort of synthesis, soundtrack stuff. It sounds like a soundscape, if that makes sense. It's it creates a scene, and it's amazing stuff. So those 3 tracks, they do seamlessly flow into one another, and it is amazingly heavy, but it's quite chillingly beautiful as well at times. So overall, I would say that Lorna Shore are a symphonic deathcore band with a whole lot of other different spices and flavours thrown in there. I would say if you like deathcore, then the heaviness of this album, Pain Remains, is next level. These guys sit up probably a notch heavier than the likes of Thy Art Is Murder and Aversion's Crown, if that is possible. These guys are heavier. Lorna Shore, Pain Remains, a beautiful collective work of art with so many different elements thrown in there and some absolutely killer tracks. Check out, if you're not convinced, do check out the opening track there, Welcome Back, O Sleeping Dreamer. Check out Sun Eater, Apotheosis and Wrath. Check out those tracks and tell me, try and convince me that that isn't some of the heaviest stuff on the planet, because goddamn, I think it is. So there you have it. Lorna Shore from the USA, deathcore, symphonic, well, whatever the hell you want to call them, they are amazingly heavy. Check this album out. I certainly think that it's a stunning work of art, very different from the stuff I usually listen to, but it's an incredible album. So much going on there. Something for everyone. Check it out and let me know what you think. Anyone else out there heard this album? Let me hear your thoughts. Let me hear your opinions. Thank you very much for watching, my friends. Do take care. Do check back soon. Feel free to like and subscribe. Thank you, my friends. You take care, and as always, you stay heavy.